Good evening, dear Medyascope viewers, and welcome to This Week in Turkey. This week, our guest is Melek Önder. Melek Önder is a spokesperson for the We Will Stop Femicides platform in Turkey, a women's advocacy platform. She will join us to talk about Turkey's official withdrawal from the Istanbul Convention. We will begin our broadcast with the coronavirus-related developments of the week. According to the data released by the Ministry of Health on July 1st, the daily number of new cases has been announced as 5,288 and the number of deaths as 42. These numbers have led to the total number of cases to reach 5,004,940 and the death toll to become 49,774 people.
Health Minister Fahrettin Koca announced healthcare workers and citizens aged 50 and over who have been vaccinated with the 2 doses are eligible to get the 3rd dose of a vaccine of choice beginning on June 1st. Citizens who have had the disease may also receive their first doses if 3 months have passed since their recovery. In addition, the interval between the doses of the BioNTech vaccine have been reduced to a minimum of 4 weeks. During the pandemic, a dismissal ban was implemented in order to protect the rights of workers and employers. The ban was extended by a presidential decree until June 30th, but with new announcements, it has ended as of July 1st. As a part of the normalization process, which has begun on July 1st, all national curfews and lockdowns have been lifted. There are no more Sunday lockdowns and no nighttime curfews after 10 p.m. In addition, restaurants, cafes, and bars are now released from the mandatory closing time of 9 p.m. and thus will stay open during the night as well. However, as mentioned in the President Erdogan's briefing on June 24th, music, including concerts, can be performed but will only be allowed until midnight. In accordance, all businesses such as cinemas that have suspended their activities will reopen. The number of people who may simultaneously remain in open and closed areas of restaurants and cafes will no longer be restricted. Restrictions and measures in accommodation facilities will be terminated, and events such as concerts, festivals, and youth camps will be allowed, as long as they abide by all the coronavirus rules.
As of July 1st, Turkey officially withdrew from the Istanbul Convention, an international treaty aimed at preventing gender-based violence, protecting victims, and to end the impunity of perpetrators. Since the presidential decree to withdraw from the convention was announced on March 20th, many have appealed to the courts for the stay of execution. The Council of States has been silent until June 29th, when the 10th Chamber of the Council of State has finalized the court cases and rejected the request for the stay of execution and annulment of the presidential decision that pulled Turkey out of the Istanbul Convention. On the first day of Turkey's official withdrawal, July 1st, women in various cities held protests and demonstrations against the withdrawal decision, which unfortunately resulted once again with police interference.
The Council of Europe's Convention on Preventing and Combating Violence Against Women and Domestic Violence, better known as the Istanbul Convention, is a human rights treaty of the Council of Europe against violence against women and domestic violence, which was open for signature on May 11, 2011 in Istanbul, Turkey. Turkey was the first country to sign this treaty that went into effect in 2014. Following this presidential decision published at midnight, several social media users, women's rights defenders, lawyers, and politicians denounced this decision, recalling that the convention was unanimously approved at the parliament and stressing that it is not possible for Turkey to withdraw from an international convention with a presidential decision. Demonstrations were also held in various cities to defend Istanbul Convention. On March 21st, an official statement regarding the withdrawal came from the Presidential Communications Directorate. The statement read that the Istanbul Convention, originally intended to promote women's rights, was hijacked by a group of people attempting to normalize homosexuality, which is incompatible with Turkey's social and family values, hence the decision to withdraw. Several political parties, including the opposition, People's Democratic Party, Republican People's Party, and E-Party, several civil society organizations, and natural and legal persons previously appealed to the Council of State against this presidential decision. The Council of State's response to these lawsuits came on June 29th. 10th Chamber of the Council of State has finalized the court cases and rejected the request for the stay of the execution by a vote of 3-2. Now, the Istanbul Convention is officially not binding for Turkey.
Hello, Mrs. Önder. Thank you so much for joining This Week in Turkey once again.
You're welcome. Thank you for us.
So today we are going to be talking about Turkey's official withdrawal from the Istanbul Convention, which was an ongoing process since mid-March when a presidential decree was published in the official gazette. And as of July 1st, Turkey has been officially withdrawn from the convention. Let's start off by talking about what does this legally mean? That seems to create a lot of confusion. What should we understand from the Council of State's decision that rejected the requests for the stay of execution and subsequently from the official withdrawal from the convention?
Yes, as you mentioned, one night a presidential decree, Turkey has decided to withdraw from the Istanbul Convention. And also there was a continuing discussion about that has the president has the authority to withdraw, taking decisions of the withdrawal from the Istanbul Convention. And also many of the lawyers and authorities are making comments that Turkey could not be able to actually withdrawing from with a presidential decree from the Istanbul Convention, because you know that firstly, the Istanbul Convention was signed in 2011, and it's signed with the parliamentary decision. So because of this reason, it must be decided in the parliamentary again. But we are seeing that there was a presidential decree decided. Only one man decided to withdrawing from the Istanbul Convention. So, and also before that, the 1st July, also Council of State make a decision about the withdrawal from the Istanbul Convention, because you know that many women organizations and also political parties or individuals has also applied to Council of State to about the appeal the Court of the State of Execution. But we are knowing that this decision, only one, the Council of State made only one decision about this apply. We are knowing that hundreds of applying to the Council of State, but they are saying that it is not unlawful according to Council of State. And also, but this is the important thing. I think there was a consensus about the decision, because we are seeing that the decide made by majority of votes. It means that some of the members of the Council of State support the Constitution and also behave according to Constitution, and they are saying that the president has not authority to the only authority is the president for the withdrawal from the Istanbul Convention. So, but on the other hand, not only the legal status, but also the importance of the socially and also importance of we are knowing that the Istanbul Convention is a very crucial convention for living the woman, not only staying woman alive, but also it's a guarantee of a life of a equally and freely living life of a woman and the LGBTQ plus individuals. So because of this reason, we are knowing that now the government has a political choice to not stand behind the woman or the LGBTQ plus individuals, but they made a decision to supporting the perpetrators, because we are knowing that when you are opening up before that time period, we are knowing that when they attack to our protection law, when they were occurring to attacking to Istanbul Convention, we are knowing that violence against women and also also the killing of women also increased in Turkey. So after that decision, when we are seeing the discussions of opening up the Istanbul Convention and the protection law, we are seeing that these kind of some effects on the in lives of the women's lives and also LGBTIQs plus individuals, because we are knowing that they are trying to deepen the discrimination against the LGBTQI plus members. So because of this reason, we are knowing that it's a very important, because it brings Istanbul Convention brings us the prevention methods, protection methods, prosecution methods, and also policy making methods to protecting women and also not living in a life that has the violence in their lives.
Thank you for that explanation. And also, in line with what you just said, let's remind the viewers once again that the Turkish government's reason to withdraw from the convention is that this treaty is considered to undermine Turkey's traditional family and societal values, along with promoting LGBTI plus community. So you, as the spokesperson for the We Will Stop Femicides platform in Turkey, you observe and think about this every day. And I would like to ask you to explain that in an environment where women are subjected to violence and killed by men on a daily basis, and quite often with no tangible consequences, what does it mean when the Turkish government withdraws from the treaty through the idea that it goes against family integrity? And what does that say about women's place in the eyes of the Turkish government?
Yes, as you mentioned, the Istanbul Convention, one of the most important things for the convention is it's trying to bring, and it's a kind of a guide for us to bring in gender-based equality. So because of this reason, we are knowing that we are examining that the femicide and also violence against women has occurred because of this inequality. We are knowing that every day we are experiencing some kind of when they are the government discussing and also taking this kind of the decision, we are, as you said, that every day a woman experiences as kind of a violence in their lives. We are seeing some kind in one day we are seeing that a woman has been attacked on the street because she is wearing a short, and also we are the same day we can see that a man attacked a woman in a cafe near the children, and the other woman trying to protect the woman. So every day, unfortunately, women experiences this kind of violence in their and discriminatory behavior because of their gender. So because of this reason, we are seeing that it means that the government give importance women in the family, not only as an individual or they are not discussing the inequality between women and men or the LGBTIQ plus individuals, because we are knowing that they are trying to making some kind of not using the equalities, but like using the some kind of very different things for this, like justice. But we are knowing that the equality is the main thing to stopping the femicide and violence against women, and also not only keeping alive women, but also it brings us that because we know that some kind of the family structure in Turkey, and also we have the gender-based role in these families, and we are knowing that these kind of things feeding the violence in the families. And also when we are discussing the family issues, you can imagine that a man killing his wife or ex-wives or a woman, and also most of the time in this killing issue occurred near the children. So when you are talking to family, you are talking about a woman killed by her husband or ex-husband, and also the children has had to be see these kind of events. So which kind of family we are talking about? So they are always saying that LGBTQ plus individuals has destroyed our values and also our family structure. But we must say that we don't have to be part of a family firstly. So female women and also the other individuals choose to not making a marriage or having a child or etc. They can choose whatever they want. And also we are knowing that even though whatever their choices, we have a right to living equally and freely in this country. Because of this reason, we are seeing that they are also mostly attacking using the family structure, and also they are destroying our values. But we cannot make this kind of discussions about the values. It's not about the values. We are talking about equality between all individuals, and also our constitution also saying that every citizen has equality in this country. So we have the same rights, we have the same lives. We are desiring equality and living freely. So because of this reason, we just saying that we are not trying to opening up these kind of discussions, because we are knowing that women are changing, society is changing, women are reacting, showing their reaction against violence, and also they are creating some kind of organizations and supporting their legal rights. They are using the Istanbul Convention protection law. So we have the very important change in Turkey, as we know, because we are remembering before the 10 years ago, and we are now knowing that we are using the femicide. We are talking about the femicide numbers. We are talking to using which mechanisms. We are always showing that Istanbul Convention and the protection law is the solution for these kind of problems, for the inequalities. So we need to talk about these kind of issues. So we know that the government trying to make some kind of regime change in Turkey. Because of this reason, we are knowing that they are starting first attacking to rights of the women and LGBTIQ plus individuals, because we are knowing that it's a very important step for the government. But we are, after that time period, we are now seeing that they are attacking to all kinds of the laws, using legal rights, using the constitutional rights. We are showing that the whole society also showing reaction and trying to using their legal rights, which is very important for us, because as we are saying that everybody in Turkey knows the protection law. It's a kind of a number, but everybody is knowing this number in Turkey. It's very interesting issue, I think, because we have to learn, and also we have to using this our rights to living in this country. Because of this reason, I think also the change in the society and the showing that women's change, also showing that we are always not, of course, we are not giving our rights. We are not giving up the Istanbul Convention. We are not giving up the constitutional and our legal rights. And also we are experiencing that whole society is using and trying to use and show their reactions, all kinds of attacks coming from the government.
And also you put forward that in fact we can say that the Istanbul Convention is the most advanced treaty while looking at it through the achievements of the global women's movement. And withdrawal from this convention is a major step back in Turkey's fight against men violence. So after this withdrawal, what awaits the society in regards to the protection of women's, children's, and the LGBTI plus communities' lives?
Yes, it will be, we don't know exactly what's happening, but we will see in next time. But it could would be hard for women to using their legal rights. Maybe we will see that, because in the implementation already we are experiencing this kind of hardness. When you're a woman apply to us, always they are saying that I couldn't use my legal rights, and the police station or other institutions has not helped me, and saying something like that. But after that period, we will see what's happening. We are, but this kind of a political will will tell the society that, as you mentioned, the Istanbul Convention is a very crucial and very important convention for protecting a woman, not only women, children, and also LGBTIQ plus individuals' rights. But with this decision, the government saying that I am not preferring to protect this part of the society, but they are saying that politically they are saying that we are not standing behind them, but we are standing on another position. So it will also bringing some kind of a encourage to perpetrators. So when we are starting to discussion the Istanbul Convention about the LGBTQ plus individuals, we are seeing that attacks against these kind of individuals is increasing. So we are knowing that this kind of political will cause some kind of some kind of we will see the results of the withdrawal. But of course, we are also trying to implement. We are all also having the protection law, and also we are continue to trying to implement the protection law, because also the protection law also has occurred after the Istanbul Convention. And also Erdogan always saying that the protection law is very important, and also very he says that protection mechanisms being mentioned always in their speech, but we are knowing that the protection law also occurred only after the Istanbul Convention signed. So we also continue to, of course, taking this decision, withdrawing this decision back. So we are continuing our protests, we are demonstrations, and also yesterday the Erdogan also make the action plan, also, but also women may announce their action plans. We are starting the protests and demonstrations in all over the country. And also, of course, we are continuing fighting against this kind of discrimination and also withdrawal decision of the Istanbul Convention. And because of this reason, as I mentioned before, this kind of change, and we are creating this kind of a fight in Turkey. The women's movement is very strong in Turkey, and we are knowing that it is very important position in Turkey. We are knowing that the government sometimes has to make some steps back because of the pressure of the women movements. We are knowing that. So because of this, our power, we are recognized that, and also we have believe, and also we think that the society showing the, and also women are showing the changes, and also it's not very easy to this kind of I think these kind of moments are historical moments. You can taking this time back, and also, okay, you are saying that you don't have rights, and also you will live as we are telling you. So because the women's experiencing using their rights, because women using the experiencing that they can live without violence. So in all of the part of the society, not only one part, but also AKP women, also we are knowing that they are supporting the Istanbul Convention there, because they are also knowing that it is important. So because we are and this change is being some hopes for us, and also we are knowing, as mentioned, women's movements power brings some. We are knowing that brings us some responsibility, but also brings us some hope for fighting and continuing our fighting. And we are knowing that we can have success about these issues, because the kind of we have in historically we are seeing that all kinds of equally and freely fightings and has always continued in history, and also not stop in a part. But we are knowing that all rights and all freedoms, all equalities has achieved after this fighting. So we are believing in society and believing our movement, our struggle, fighting against it. So because we will continue to and also not giving up to our rights.
Thank you, Ms. Önder, for all your thoughtful comments and explanations. And thank you for joining us.
You're welcome. Thank you.
The festivals, picnics, and demonstrations held as part of the Pride Month of June continue to face police violence in Turkey. This week, 20 people were detained in the Eskişehir province's first Pride March. In another Pride March held in Istanbul, a photojournalist was violently detained through the police's use of disproportionate force, which ignited journalist protests in several cities in Turkey. Meanwhile, a second hearing regarding 12 Boğaziçi University students detained over displaying rainbow flags was held, where the request of acquittal was rejected.
On June 28th, the second hearing was held regarding 12 Boğaziçi University students who were facing trials for displaying rainbow flags during the course of the Boğaziçi protest against the government-appointed rector, Melek Önder. During the hearing, one of the students' lawyers, Levent Pişkin, reiterated that displaying an LGBTI+ flag is not prohibited. Pişkin reminded the court of the statements made by the Turkish Minister of Foreign Affairs, Mevlut Çavuşoğlu, during the United Nations Universal Periodic Review, where Çavuşoğlu said that there are no prohibitions nor any pressure on the LGBTI+ community in Turkey. The request for acquittal for the 12 Boğaziçi students was rejected, and hearing has been postponed to October 13th, 2021. On June 30th, Turkey's central Anatolian province of Eskişehir held their first Pride March in front of Adalar Migros Market. During the city's first Pride March ever, the police intervened and detained a total of 30 people before and during the march. People were once again detained for joining an LGBTI+ march and carrying rainbow flags representing the LGBTI community. Another Pride March that resulted in disproportionate police force and intervention was held in Istanbul's Taksim Square on June 26th. The police attacked the group using plastic bullets and detained more than 20 people. While covering the June 19th Istanbul LGBTI+ Pride March, an Agence France-Presse photojournalist, Bülent Kılıç, was violently detained as police officers pushed him to the floor and pressed their knees against his back and throat, to the point where he was heard saying, "I can't breathe." Over this incident, journalists' unions and groups gathered on June 29th and staged demonstrations in front of the governor's office in Istanbul, Ankara, and Izmir. Kılıç himself also attended the demonstrations in Istanbul, where journalists marched to the governor's office and left their cameras and notebooks in front of it. Police officers also tried to prevent other journalists from taking photos and videos of the crowd being violently detained during the march. Council of Europe's platform for the protection of journalism and safety of journalists recorded Kılıç's detention as an alert on its website. The Reporters Without Borders also condemned the treatment of Kılıç, saying, "This is an example of how violence and impunity have become a rule."
On June 26th, Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdoğan attended the groundbreaking ceremony for the first bridge of Kanal Istanbul named Sazlıdere, one of the 6 bridges to be built on the Kanal Istanbul. However, a controversy arose when the Istanbul Metropolitan Mayor Ekrem İmamoğlu, who did not attend the opening ceremony, said that the construction is not of Kanal Istanbul's first bridge, but is part of a previously planned highway project.
Kanal Istanbul, known as President Erdogan's crazy project, seeks to carve out an artificial waterway between the Sea of Marmara and the Black Sea. Although environmentalists and experts have been warning that the project will lead to disastrous environmental consequences, the government is still insistent on it. Kanal Istanbul is seen as an environmental hazard because a good amount of Istanbul's water comes from the European side of the city, where the canal is planned to be built. The area has been home to freshwater sources linked to Istanbul's water supply system since the 17th century. The construction of an artificial passage may also increase the pollution in the Marmara Sea. İmamoğlu, who's from the main opposition Republican People's Party, has been campaigning against the project on environmental grounds. He has indicated that the project would trigger demographic change, destroy cultural heritage, and exacerbate traffic. He has also said that the investment the project requires should be spent on real necessities of the people instead. During a press conference held at Sazlıdere Dam, İmamoğlu stated that the Sazlıdere Dam provides about 10% of Istanbul's water needs. This region is both the water tank and agricultural land of Istanbul. I mean, this area means everything to Istanbul. Although it is called the groundbreaking canal project ceremony, we see that this is the accommodation road project between Tem-Hastal Junction and Nakkaş Junction of the North Marmara Highway. Planting the feet of a previously planned bridge and declaring it, "I have laid the foundation of the canal," is only an effort to save the day politically. Even if there was no such thing as Kanal Istanbul on Turkey's agenda today, this bridge would be built. That is the illusion. The opposition Republican People's Party, or CHP's leader Kemal Kılıçdaroğlu, had previously stated, "We will isolate ourselves from the countries who go forward with the Kanal Istanbul bid. We won't pay their money." In response to Kılıçdaroğlu's remarks, at the ceremony Erdogan said, "They are threatening the investors, the banks, and the countries interested in the project. They will take this money from you by force through international arbitration." CHP Istanbul Congressman and lawyer Mahmut Tanal added, "President Erdogan's 'they will take the money by force' sentence is the greatest evil to be inflicted upon a society." The statement regarding the canal of a president who says, "I do not recognize the decisions of the Constitutional Court," is very unfortunate. The president should consider the interests of the people, but here he considers the interests of the contractors.
That's all from This Week in Turkey. See you next week.
Türkiye'nin sivil, bağımsız, özgür ve çoğulcu bir medya ortamına ihtiyacı var. Medyascope 20 Ağustos 2015'te bu ihtiyacı karşılamak üzere yola çıktı. Ama yolumuz uzun. Bu yolculukta bize Patreon veya YouTube'un katıl butonu üzerinden katkıda bulunabilirsiniz. Destek verin, sizinle güçlenelim.